Hi everyone, yasas que kalos tirtate to another episode of Dimitra's Dishes. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to make Tiropitakia. These Greek pies are made with a delicious cheese filling. They're wrapped up in a buttery phyllo. They're crispy, flaky, delicious, and they freeze beautifully, so you can make them ahead of time and serve them at your next party or have them on hand if some friends want to stop by for coffee or something like that. They're so good. Let's get started. Okay, we're going to begin by making the tiropita filling. So in a large bowl, I'll add 1.5 pounds of whole milk ricotta cheese. You want to get the best quality ricotta cheese that you can find, so that way it's not grainy or watery. I'll also add a cup or 70 grams of shredded Parmesan cheese, or if you have Phyllo graviera, that's more traditional. It's a Greek Gruyere cheese that's just absolutely delicious. And then I'll add 2 eggs to the side of my bowl and just whisk them up with a fork. And then I'll add 1 pound of feta cheese. Sheep's milk feta is the best for this. If you want to save some money, you can use cow's milk. It'll be a little bit drier, but it'll work too. I'll add 2 to 3 tablespoons of olive oil to it. We're going to season this with some freshly cracked black pepper and then a teaspoon of dried mint. If you have fresh mint, you can use about 1 to 2 tablespoons of it. Dill is really nice too. If you have fresh dill, it works too. Or dry dill, you would substitute the mint for a teaspoon of dill. Mix everything all together until it's combined, and then that's it. The filling is ready. We're going to set it aside, and then I prefer using these smaller baking pans, the quarter sheet pans, just so that way I don't have to bake a full tray of them. I can fit 12 tiropitakia, 12 mini cheese pies in these small pans, and the big ones fit 24 to 25, and sometimes I don't need to bake that many. That's why I like to have the smaller trays ready. So line them with parchment paper and set those aside, and then we have 1 pound of number 4 Phyllo pastry that's been thawing on my counter for a few hours, so it's at room temperature now. I'll cut it into 3 equal portions. Each portion measures 4 inches. This is going to make really nice sized triangles. And I'll just unwrap 1 portion at a time so that way they don't dry out. I'm going to take 1 layer of phyllo at a time and just layer 2 sheets together. I've melted 1/2 pound of salted butter. I love using salted butter for this because it has more flavor. If you don't have it, or if salted butter is too salty in your part of the world, I know that happens too, then you can just add a little bit of salt to melted unsalted butter, and that'll be fine too. So I'm going to drizzle a little bit of butter between each layer, and then I'll take a heaping tablespoon of that cheese mixture and I'll put it right at the bottom, and then I'm just going to roll it up into a little triangle shape until I run out of filling or I run out of phyllo pastry. So this makes between 30 to 34, 35 triangles, but sometimes the phyllo sheets get stuck together and you'll get more or less depending on what's going on with the phyllo. If your sheets get stuck together, don't try to take them apart. It's perfectly fine if you have 2 layers without butter in between. That's totally fine. We're going to put these on the baking tray and then brush them with some more butter. Brush them generously because it adds a lot of flavor. So I'm going to bake 1 tray, and the other 2 I'll wrap them in plastic wrap. But before I do that, I'll pop them in the freezer until the butter sets, so that way it doesn't stick to the plastic. That takes about 10 minutes or so. Then I'll wrap them up with some plastic wrap, and these will keep fresh in the freezer for about 3 months. I make sure to label them so that way I know what they are, because once things freeze, it all looks the same. This tray over here is going to go in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for between 30 to 45 minutes, or until they're nice and golden and crisp and they're ready to serve. Okay, so just like that, they're ready, and you can serve these room temperature or piping hot. If you're serving them as appetizers, as a savory appetizer, room temperature is probably best. If you're going to be serving them for dessert, you can make them ahead of time and then reheat them before serving, because you want them to be nice and hot. So if you decide to drizzle some honey on top of them, it'll soak in and it'll just be so sticky and good. I mean, just that's how I love to eat them, but I also do eat them just like that, savory, every now and then. Let's do the taste test. First of all, listen to how crispy these are. I love to eat them with some honey on top. So good. The phyllo is buttery and crispy. The filling is cheesy, and that honey just goes so well together. These are perfect if you're making like a charcuterie board, or just serving them like that as a nice snack. They're so good. You can print out the whole recipe on the website, dimitrasdishes.com. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, and definitely make a double batch if you want to, because they freeze beautifully I hope you guys give this recipe a try. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I'll see you all next time. Yes, us.